see if see if anybody shows up. Since apparently the show's already been going for 5.5 hours.
Well, for me, it
That's,
was scheduled at 12:05. I don't know what time.
that's my bad. My bad. I accidentally forgot to put the right time in on the schedule in StreamYard, so it started the show 5.5 hours ago. Oops. We'll see if anybody if anybody comes back at the regular time. So yeah. Anyhow, since there ain't nobody else freaking
Yeah.
watching, anyhow. Oh wait, now we got two people. And nobody's commenting. Well, anyhow, since everybody leaves when we talk about video games, anyhow,
Yes.
I drove the
I'd be
the Mercedes AMG,
the black edition.
the 2023 edition, and yeah, it is AMG, but it's not the black. It's just
Okay.
it's the SLK AMG.
Oh, okay, that's the one with that pointy nose, right?
Yeah, it's like super long nose on the thing.
Yeah.
It's like kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a coupe. Yeah, but it's got.
What a freaking maniac! I don't. What's up, Mr. Brown? By the way, what a maniac that car is. I don't know what Mercedes is thinking. They're just like they're making crazy shit because like their SLK AMG Black Edition, it has like I think it's like 150 more horsepower than the one I drove, and it's already insane. It doesn't need another 150 horsepower. It just turns it into a car that already wants to kill you. Now it wants to Jeffrey Dahmer. It wants to kill you, and then it wants to eat you afterwards.
Might be a James Dean, right? Wasn't it James Dean, his own Porsche? Like, we're not. Wrong.
The Speedster.
Yeah, man.
It's such a weird thing, James Dean. The way that happened. He was buzzing along. He was on his way to go to a race, and he was buzzing along in the middle of fucking nowhere. And just so happens a family driving their car down the road. And all of a sudden, blah! James Dean freaking sprays himself all over the fucking pavement. Trying to beat a Tesla. Hey, Thompson. So for everybody that didn't notice, Rich accidentally set the start time for 12:05 today, and there was no show at 12:05. The show's always at 5:30, regardless of what mistake I make. I'll be here at 5:30 because I don't get off work until 5:30. So
it's hilarious.
Speaking of, it's like freaking computer update day today.
Of course it is.
Windows. Freaking every computer I have is going crazy with freaking Windows update. What the hell? My laptop has Windows 11, and my work computer's got Windows 10, and both of them work.
Everybody wants an update today.
Making me fucking crazy. I hate updates.
No, I thought he just lost control of his car. I didn't realize that somebody actually ran him off the road.
No. He was. It was an odd like intersection kind of bend, like a turn thing, and the way he was coming at sunset and the way that the sun was at, the guy couldn't see him, and the car's really low and it's silver, and he couldn't see him.
I knew that.
And he basically pulled out, James Dean hit him and then careened off and went into the ditch. But
and the sausage was born.
oh man, and I mean, if you've ever seen a Porsche Spider, man, what's up, Sofa King? Man, those things were little race cars. They were not built to handle crashes very well with regular,
When I thought his was
3-ton steel sedans.
I thought he had a special one too. It wasn't just the regular.
It was the race version of the Speedster.
That's exactly what you need.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, and I know because of James Dean, there were several actors who had gotten into racing, where like movie studios, like James Garner was one of them. James Garner, when he was doing, what was the show he was on where he had the gold Pontiac? I don't remember. I don't remember the name of the show, but while he was doing that show, the studio said, you can't be racing. No racing. You're not allowed. That's, last thing we need to do is have this hit show going and have the star of the show go and getting himself freaking massacred in a race car. Because I know he did an interview, years and years afterwards, saying that he almost quit the show because he wanted to go racing.
Supposedly the car was cursed. Oh yeah, I heard about that. But
there, and I actually know where that car is at. It's in Glendale, California.
That's so cool. I'm so glad you guys are in the cars. Let me tell you.
And it's and it's still in its all bent up, crashed state from when he crashed it. But yeah, I believe several people that owned it after him suffered odd things. Speaking of odd things, how about the Jeffrey Epstein list?
Oh yeah.
Which it's kind of disappointing. It's kind of what I expected it to be, that there wasn't going to be a whole lot on there, but it appears some of the secondary stuff that's being dropped out is a little bit more spicy. But one of the best parts is there is testimony in there from a girl who was one of the sex slaves that explained during testimony how Jeffrey Epstein had videotapes. He had filmed everybody with his girls.
Oh, fantastic.
And they specifically said that they have videotape of Bill Clinton.
Nice.
Which coincidentally, Bill Clinton's been in Mexico with Hillary since like December 29th.
Huh. Feliz Navidad.
Left the country.
Feliz Navidad.
Yeah, the drivetrain of James Dean was sold off, and it killed the doctor. The engine was torn apart and replaced, and the guy that bought the rebuilt engine, he also died in some weird thing. And yeah, don't buy any James Dean's car parts.
Just a sausage.
Just
I can't help myself. I keep going back to that.
It is not the same James Dean.
I know.
Because it's Jimmy Dean.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dean sausage. And what else have been going on? I mean, there's all kinds of racing shit that happened. How about that Cat Williams interview? No shit. How about Cat Williams, and how about oh shit, what's his name? Jim Gaffigan at the Golden Globes saying, I can't believe I'm in the entertainment industry. You know, it still shocks you. I was, guy from a small town, Indiana. I'm not a pedophile. I had a camera that hated women. I had a dog that hated women.
This is I don't know why, but lately it has been a Camaro that hated women.
I had a camera that hated women every time I took a picture of them.
Wouldn't take a picture of that bitch.
Um,
That makes way more sense.
yeah, Camaro that hated women. That does make sense.
I was thinking today, and I mean, you'll probably, I don't know, women's oppression. Somebody piped in my ear earlier today that women's oppression starts at the very dawn of man with the Bible and Adam and Eve.
Yeah, poor women, so oppressed. So oppressed. Started with Adam and Eve. Okay, Eve was running around in the Garden of Eden with Adam, basically just hanging out, being hippies, and she got tempted by the devil. Nobody oppressed Eve. The devil was like, hey, this little apple here that God said, don't eat it. It's delicious, and you should take a bite. And then you should convince Adam to take a bite because you are going to love it. These things are fantastic. And she was like, okay. The rest is history.
And and as I'm being told this, I mean, the only thing going through my head because I am like this is, the main object in not objectifying women is women. Just throwing that out there.
Yep. That is 100% true, Sophie King. God cursed Adam and Eve.
The other thing too I want to add is in response to this is lately my wife has told me that I need to be more in touch with my feminine side. So I went out and crashed the car.
I was going to say you went in the kitchen and made a bowl of spaghetti or a sandwich. Yeah, I know everybody sees them on like the YouTube shorts and everything, the at whatever podcast, which is basically that dude Brian that basically just destroys women all the time and makes them look completely idiotic. Man, look at Sofa King. Sofa King throwing down some biblical knowledge right now.
But what's in the unwritten parts says that the first woman was actually named Lilith, and she didn't want to have any fucking part of that whatsoever. The angels came down and tried to make her part of it, and she ran away. You don't talk about that shit, though.
Well, because you're not allowed to, because it's not technically a part of the Bible, because it
doesn't oppress women in the right way.
Well, only because it just the history of the writing of the Bible itself and the prophets and apostles and in documenting everything. It's everybody knows it's impossible to know. I mean, it's been translated over and over and over again. Like the shit they found with the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it was where Dan Brown came up with the whole Da Vinci Code thing that what's her butt wasn't I keep wanting to say Mary, but it was Mary and Joseph, but it was the other the female apostle.
Okay.
I can't remember her name. The Da Vinci Code claimed that she was the blood of Christ and was actually his wife and blah blah blah.
Oh wow.
That's where he came up with all Mary Magdalene. Yeah, that's where he came up with all that crap. Was all these spin-off people that like John Smith with the fucking Mormons.
Oh
You
my
know,
god.
oh man, I got this Bible from that God sent me.
Forest in a forest with a
Yeah,
hat.
and I accidentally burned it or destroyed it, so nobody else can read it.
But
Oh,
I'll read
yeah.
it looking out of my magic hat.
Nice. I like to hear that, Sofa King. I like the fact that there are still people out there that read the Bible. My,
You should know it at least, right? You should know about it. I mean, man, it's one
I,
thing.
for all intents and purposes, anybody that likes to read, the Bible is actually quite an interesting book to read. It's a tremendous story
Shit,
from the Old Testament to the New Testament. It's
the best part is Revelations. I think you got to read the end, man. That's like the best part, dude. Where the four horsemen come. Oh my god, that is great shit.
uh,
Who wrote this? This is like epic, and this is like Lord of the Rings crap at the end of this. Like, wow. Some of us are actually going to get to play Frodo. No, not really.
pray that none of us live to see the end days. That's some scary, scary shit.
So I don't know. Yeah, I ever told
Part
you.
of the reason of the Bible is to, it is to remind people of, to be fearful, to be mindful, to live a good, decent life because you have an eternal soul that you need to protect. And if you don't, sea of fire,
Sea of Fire.
lake of fire, rivers of fire,
That's
lots of fire,
It's nonstop forever.
which sucks. I've been on fire before, and it's fucking terrible. It's a terrible place to be. And if you're gonna spend an eternity that way, nope. I'm just gonna be a good guy.
The rest of your life, you'll have to volunteer.
That is that would be purgatory. The rest of your life you have to volunteer with a 501c3. You gonna make it there?
One got me. I try. Most of the shows I make it through the show. But I choked down on that one.
I got a good joke for y'all. And since we were talking about Bible, this is this perfect one. So there's a pit bull, German Shepherd, and a cat that all die. They go up to the pearly gates. St. Peter's like, God wants to see you over there. So they all mosey on over, and God's sitting in the throne. He looks at the pit bull and he goes, what did you serve your life for? And the pit bull says, I live to serve my owner, to protect my family and their home. God says, good. Looks at the German Shepherd and says, what did you serve your life for? I also lived and to serve my family, to protect my family and protect our home. And it's very good. And looks at the cat, and the cat goes, I think you're sitting in my seat.
Right? Yep.
Yes,
James.
Yes, the King James version is traditionally, I think, your Lutheran, Baptist, even some of your Orthodox go by King James. I know my wife and I are both Orthodox, and we go by King James Bible because it is supposedly, according to the Orthodox Church, it's supposedly the cleanest edition of the Bible. But I mean, come on. There's so many different versions of Christianity, and it's split off into so many different factions.
Hey, I'm not here to. I was just, throwing it out there because that's.
Oh no, it's like something that we have my wife and I and some of our Orthodox friends have talked about, like, with regards to like going to church on Sundays. I don't go to church on Sundays. I'm quite religious, but I will not go to a church. I won't go to some place that's organized, that passes around a collection dish that has, you know, $150,000 in stained glass windows in it. You know, it's a $10 million building and whatnot. Because that, to me, that is not. You're not worshiping God. You're collecting money. You know,
Well, isn't that what
you could worship God in a tent in your front yard with 5 of your buddies.
I'm pretty sure they've been doing that since the Crusades.
Yeah. And I mean, when you think about it, all the problems that organized religion has had over the, you know, thousands of years here, you know, Catholics. I mean, come on. Catholic priests and altar boys.
Kind of hit those
You fucking creepy bastards. You know, I heard an explanation once that the Roman Empire didn't collapse. It became Vatican.
There you go.
That is, you know, because that's where all of the wealth of the Roman Empire and everything basically got stashed, was underneath the Vatican and all the catacombs and everything. The Empire of England didn't, you know, never really diminished. It just became the Bank of England. Romans became the church. England became the bank. But anywho, enough about all that. There's more fun shit to talk about. How about Anaheim 1 Supercross 2024? Jet Lawrence. The first time in history that a rookie has won his first Supercross race. McGrath didn't do it. Bubba didn't do it. Carmichael didn't do it. Ricky Johnson, Johnny O'Mara, Jeff Ward, Ryan Villapoto. You go down the list. Nobody's ever done it. And this little freaking Australian bastard, he's ridiculous. He rides ridiculous. He's so much faster than everybody. All he had to do on Saturday was manage the race. It wasn't like, you know, like James Stewart used to go out and ride 110% until he either took the checkered flag or he ate shit so bad he couldn't finish the race. He probably would have had more wins than anybody in the history, and he would have been the GOAT had he not crashed so much. I mean, the guy literally invented scrubbing jumps. I think Jet Lawrence probably is destined to be the new GOAT. I think he's going to take the title from Ricky Carmichael. He was so much faster. He wasn't even riding at 100%. He was just riding, and he was looking up at the fucking Jumbotron to see what the distance was to second place, and he just maintained that distance for the rest of the race. And he was riding through spots where nobody else was doing what he was doing. And it was, you know, it makes him, you know, easily a second or 2 seconds a lap faster than everyone. And at any point when he wants to, he's like, oh, this guy's catching up to me. Okay. And away he goes. So that's pretty impressive. But we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Unfortunately, my boy Eli Tomac did not look like he's back to 100% health. He blew out his fucking Achilles last year, and I don't know if you can ever recover from a blown Achilles as a motorcycle rider, because you're riding on the pegs on the balls of your feet or in the arch of your feet, and it's so important that if there's any pain in your Achilles all the time, it's going to hamper how you ride.
Right.
It's how the Achilles became Achilles.
Well,
What else? Oh, we had Dale Earnhardt's grandson won his division at the Tulsa Shootout 2 weeks ago, which is pretty impressive. That's fourth generation of Earnhardt racers. Yeah, because Papa Earnhardt, and then Dale Jr., then Jeffrey, Casey, and the other Earnhardt. And then this week we got the Chili Bowl.
Chili Bowl.
Chili Bowl. Chili Bowl in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or otherwise known as the Racing Center of the Universe.
Right.
Which is pretty fucking arrogant for them to claim that, but considering that it's a race that happens in the middle of January and when there literally isn't much else happening anywhere in the racing world, kind of let it slide. Other than the folks down in Australia who are just now getting all their racing season kicked off because it's summer for them now. Which I never thought about. That's kind of weird to have it. It would be summer in December and January. So like it's hot as shit on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Like your air conditioner is just full blast, cranking out because on Christmas.
That's if I'm not busy fending off everything that might want to try to kill me while I live there.
Yeah, the dozen or so spiders that are deadly, the dozen or so snakes that are deadly, the fucking kangaroos that are all yoked. Kenny Wallace interviewed Kyle Larson is Kyle Larson's a great kid. I've had a chance to talk to Kyle a bunch of times when he was coming up. He raced for my buddy over at Keith Coons. He's going to be back. He's running the Chili Bowl this year. He's back with Keith because they never actually won a Chili Bowl together. Kyle's won 2. Keith has won a shitload as a car owner, but he never. So Kyle came back, and he's going to run Thursday night's prelims. But Kyle is he's a very smart kid. I mean, he went through the whole 2021 when he used the N-word while he was sim racing, and he got fired. He got fired from Chip Ganassi Racing, and he went through the whole NASCAR. What do they call that? Sensitivity training.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
He went through all of that. Went back to his roots, which was sprint car racing. And he went on a freaking World of Outlaw terror. He won like 10 races in a row in 2021. Kind of just assumed that that's where his life was going to be now. He was going to, he lived the dream short period of time for, making it to NASCAR and all was great. And then he lost it. And he just kind of accepted that this is, it's going to be my life now. And freaking Rick Hendricks and Jeff Gordon was like, dude, you need to come drive for us. Screw Chip Ganassi. That guy's an asshole anyhow. And yeah, hired him, pay him fucking $10 million a year. Tell him he can do whatever he wants. He can race whatever he wants as long as you make it for your cup duties. So now he's part owner of the High Limit Sprint Car Series. He's got his own. He basically has his own open wheel racing deal with midgets and sprint cars that he basically just races whenever he wants. Late models. Last year he went to the I want to say it's like the world final and he ended up like finishing second. And it was like only the second time he had ever even sat in a dirt late model car. He's pretty freaking ridiculous. And he started when he was like damn near a freaking toddler. He went to his first race and he was hooked. He wanted to drive. He wanted to drive race cars basically since the day he was born.
So I think we've thrown at least half of the audience off by being.
Eh, it's our show. If you don't like it,
And I don't know if it's what I'm
there's some,
wearing or my mustache or what, but my camera just keeps blacking me out all over. It's wonderful.
I shaved today.
I should
I'm
have shaved.
actually,
Honestly. My camera's telling me I should have shaved.
I almost went and got a haircut, but now that I see myself in the camera here, I'm looking pretty. My do is on point today.
And I have a mad. If I take off this hat, I have like I stuck my finger in a light socket look. Like it is like.
What I have I have been busting my ass for 2 days. As everybody knows, I started sim racing, so I had to get some apparatuses for the sim racing. Um, and I had to assemble my apparatus, and holy shit! Hey, yeah, which reminds me, because I spent a good like 30 minutes bitching the other day to a friend of mine that pretty much influencers everywhere for everything. It doesn't matter what you're an influencer for, what industry you're in. You can fuck right off. You're all full of shit, full of shit, lies, and full of shit assholes. I bought a thing because I watched a whole shit ton of videos of all these influencers like, this thing is great. It's fantastic. It'll work for you. It's okay. I had that thing for 2 minutes and I was like, this is a piece of shit. This is literally a piece of shit. I wasted my fucking money on this piece of shit because you assholes said that it was at least adequate. It's not even adequate. It's a piece of shit. And it's everything, everywhere. We're influencers because all you assholes get shit for free and you can't tell people the truth. You can't tell people like, look, this thing ain't even fucking adequate. It's a piece of shit. But I got it for free. And if I tell you it's a piece of shit, people who send it to me won't send me more free shit. Right. And maybe at some point they'll send me something that isn't a piece of shit. But yeah. Because my wife my wife and I were comparing notes on over the last 6 months, different things that we have investigated via like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and Googling shit, just finding out whether or not something is worthy of buying.
Right? Can I just throw something at you here? We kind of had a conversation a little bit about something like this, but I don't feel like enough people research where they put their money.
Yes.
I feel like, a lot of people, as I see it a lot in the RC world, of course, but I know it happens everywhere where it's just, I throw my money at something. I don't, oh, you're doing a good thing. Well, here's a bunch of money. Thanks for doing a good thing.
Well, and people are so blinded by marketing. And I can tell you, hands down, marketing is all about lying, the going to the most extreme that you can about lying about something to where you can't get busted for lying about something.
Right.
Prime example. I'm probably going to get shit on from YouTube for this, but Pfizer and Moderna and the vaccines.
Oh yeah, here we go.
The Surgeon General of Florida has now said publicly, at least the people here in Florida, none of you should be taking this fucking thing. It's really bad for you. and it has the potential to be worse for you than just getting the virus and taking some fucking Tylenol and a nap for a couple of days. Texas, Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, is now suing Pfizer because Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson all got to get out of jail free card with their vaccines. But it's only federally. States are allowed to actually sue, and that's what he's going to go after, is the fact that Pfizer knew that the 95% efficacy that they were advertising was false. They knew it wasn't that effective, but they kept telling everybody it was. And the media kept telling everybody it was, and they all just kept sucking on that Pfizer cock. And now it's coming back to bite you, you fuckers. Anthony Fauci appeared in Congress, and that bastard won't answer anything. That guy was making $850,000 a year, being paid by the government, while he was also filing patents. By the way, they filed the patent for the mRNA vaccine for the COVID strain going all the way back to like 2016, 3 years before COVID-19 hit the streets. So, manufactured virus that made a whole bunch of people fucking billions of dollars.
Time for your weekly dose of Mr. Shouty Man.
Yay! Ooh, what's happening?
Doesn't work.
Yeah, getting back to Mr. Brown's comment about NASCAR wages. The part of the reason why NASCAR wages have gone down so much is because the television situation for NASCAR is freaking terrible. On top of the fact that NASCAR's ruined its own product. I've said it before, the playoff system is a joke. It's not. I mean, look how terrible college football is because of the wonky playoff system. Just a bunch of people decided who was going to be in the college football playoffs this year. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Sorry, I got to stop you real quick. You can just wipe that grin right off your face, because I'd say who came in. I mean, well, at least I'd read their comment. You know, there's nothing special about you. Let me tell you. No, I'm just.
Here's a old turd sandwich.
I'm giving you a shit time here. What can I say?
You're very ghost-like on your background, bro.
I keep going in and out. Yeah, I don't know the fuck.
Part of it is the black hat. I think the black hat is messing with the beard. I think it's messing with because you have the black
background,
virtual background.
I changed the background.
The green screen is messing with you. Yeah, I mean, Kyle Larson also started the high limit sprint car series because, back in 2021, when he was basically going to have to make a career out of racing sprint cars, he realized, I'm going to have to race like 95 times a year, and I'm going to have to win, like 70 or 80% of the races in order to make a decent living and be able to afford my sprint car program.
Right.
Because as of yet, I mean, World of Outlaw has changed slightly, but as of 2023, to win a World Outlaw sprint car race was only paid out $10,000 to the winner.
Did I get any better?
No. I mean, they had a couple of big purse races, the Kings Royal, the Eldor Million, things like that, but it's few and far between.
I'm sorry. I can't. Hey, Vato.
I was gonna say it's friggin'. You should change your name to Cholo RC. Orderly Holmes.
All right, I can't do that.
You look like a photo fit police sketch.
Well, at least I got you to grin.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, NASCAR needs to do something. They they they're basically they're pissing everybody off right now. Fans are pissed off. The team owners are all pissed off. I'm waiting to hear the news that Tony Stewart's gonna fucking sell out his portion of Stewart Haas to just get out of it because he's going full time drag racing next year. His wife is stepping back because they want to start a family. So she's stepping out of the driver's seat. He's stepping in. Obviously, he's a team owner. So like, look, I'm driving, bitches. That's a nice pad you got there. Gonna be later on after the show. JB's gonna be over there tickling the ivories.
Yeah. Got the baby grand.
But yeah, NASCAR needs a change.
Just
You are way too entertained with your virtual background right now.
Airbnb it. NASCAR does need a change. We've talked about this. We've said, I think the best thing that could happen in NASCAR is 18-year-old girls.
Even that won't save them. I mean, you could start a whole OnlyFans NASCAR series, and I don't think that would entertain long enough.
Might depend on who finished first.
I mean, they keep trying. They keep trying to bring up girls and throw them in there. Fucking Haley got herself a free Infinity ride for next year, with having zero results in the truck series. And next up is Taylor Reimer. I know nobody's ever heard of Taylor Reimer before, but she's going to be starting in an asphalt ARCA series next year. Again, she hasn't really done that much. All she's done is she's raced midgets, and she's part of the Toyota Racing Development Program, and they're going to throw her out in the freaking ARCA series and try to bring her up because she's a blonde Cupid doll.
There, just because that's my favorite. So,
are
you trying to be Pink Floyd?
Another brick in the wall.
Another prick in the mall.
Yeah, I mean, it's
18-year-old girls in bikinis, no fire suit or helmets. Yes, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Haley had to get a ride. They bumped her. Yeah, I mean,
even if they had helmets, I'd let them have helmets, but the bikinis are a must, right?
What's happening, Earl? Good to see you.
If you're burned alive, that's your fault, you dumb girl. You should have sport to play in.
I watched Haley.
Especially like if they get into a crash or something, or if they crash each other out and there's a cat fight later down in the pits. Hell yeah, I think
even watch this. You might as well just take the racing part out of it and then just start the NASCAR Jello wrestling series. You would get way more people watching, and you would entertain way more people than 3.5 hours of guys following each other around. I mean, this is the shit that needs to be said show. And, unfortunately, NASCAR is just fucking lame. It's lame.
It's the Bill Cosby 500.
Yeah, NASCAR YouTuber fight clubs. Yeah. Or, I mean, hell, just first and foremost, on the super speedways, the Talladega, Daytona, now Atlanta is mucked around with their track to make it a super speedway. Take the restrictor plates off. Let them go 250 miles an hour. I would watch that. Yeah, if you run into the wall at 250 miles an hour, I don't care how strong your car is, you're going to get fucking jacked up. And that's what people want to see. I don't want to watch 43 cars run around at exactly 192 miles an hour, that the only way they can pass each other is to bump draft, and if you get out of the draft and now you're half a lap behind and you can't keep up, it's horseshit. It's horseshit racing.
What was it? You were talking about influencers. Did you see?
Just lost your audio.
Like, oh, you son of a
Everything
bitch.
everything you just said after influencer was just
That was. I can't tell if you're fucking with me or not, which is great. That's the best part of the show.
um yeah, I mean, racing is dangerous. It's a dangerous sport. People die. It happens. Um, Trying to bubble wrap racing to make it more safe, and hey, look, I agree. Make better safety equipment. The Hans device. It's great. After Dale Earnhardt snapped his freaking skull off his spine, it's a good idea.
Right.
Hey, man, we should try and stop that from happening. Good idea. They made the bolsters in the seat now, so that um, improvements in safety. Fantastic. But you've also slowed the cars down. You've made them handle like shit. You made it so that especially on the tracks that used to be the most exciting. Go back and watch parts of the 1987 Daytona 500.
Right.
That shit was on fire. Them dudes were blowing around there at 212, 215 miles an hour, and like open face helmets. And some dudes didn't even wear fun gloves and shit. It looked like some people wearing flip flops and shit. And they were just hauling ass.
That's that Florida car again.
And I mean, it was exciting. And when there was a freaking wreck, it was horrific. But that's what it's about. This year's Indy 500 was fantastic because there was some epic wipeouts in this year's Indy 500. They even launched a tire out of the track that landed on the hood of some poor woman's car in a parking lot. Element of danger. It's what's missing. We put freaking safety labels on everything. We're child-proofing everything. Hey, man. No, I want McDonald's to start making their coffee 250 degrees. I want that shit to like peel layers of skin off if you spill it on you.
Jesus. It's not a blister. That's a 3rd-degree burn, sir.
Yeah. There's a natural. There's a thing. It's called natural selection, and all these people want to believe in evolution, yet you don't want to let evolution happen. And if evolution is true, then it means the strong survive and the weak die. And the strong will evolve to become stronger so that they survive. And the ones that don't evolve will die. Well, we're not letting anybody die. Unless, of course, you're a black guy in an inner city. And then we'll let you shoot the shit out of each other. But that's a different topic. We need to let stupid people die. Just needs to happen. The people who are willing to take risks with their life and endanger themselves by doing something crazy. The French guy, the flight suit dude.
Are you talking about the flight suit? Because I thought about the first parachute was actually made out of leather. Did you know that?
I'm talking about the guys that jump off the mountains, but they don't have the parachute. They just have the flight suit thing.
Yeah, the wingsuit.
Like the flying squirrel suit.
Yeah.
And homie, the French guy, he was like super awesome at it, and he missed. He missed by like 6 feet. And they were scooping dude up with a mop. But that's the risk. Hey, you're a risk taker. You're risking your life to have some fun flying around like a freaking squirrel in the sky. Even though if we were supposed to fly like that, Whoever the numbskull is that decided that, hey man, I'm going to make this suit so that I can fly. You read too many Superman comic books. That's what you did. Ooh, I got the craziest box of,
You get the first 1,000 points. How's that?
yeah, our oldest daughter likes to get us candy for Christmas. Like I need more candy, but she likes to go like kind of ridiculous with getting us candy. And she got us this like nice tin thing of Godiva chocolates. They don't tell you what they are. Just like you literally just gotta like we're gonna take a bite of it and go, oh god, it's that freaking orange marmalade shit.
Do you want negative points?
All right, minus 5,000 points. Which,
Really,
oddly enough, negative points and positive points in the end are all worth the same.
Can you show me a receipt from Operation 11 Charlie? I'll give you negative points. I don't even think that exists.
I did one. I did one. And I believe that's probably the only one that's ever been done.
Oh, I'm sure they've done.
And it was for the fine people over at RC Four-Wheel Drive for a donation that they made. And I believe that is the one and only time that anybody ever got a receipt. Because to date, I believe, I mean, it's been a couple of years now, but at the time, I was the only person that had a copy of a receipt or the ability to be able to manipulate and write and do anything with that.
That might be why I said if you can produce one, I'll give you negative points. I'll give you all the negative.
You're not a Muppet. Although, if you were a Muppet,
Jesse Baker,
I would want to. If I were a Muppet, I would want to be Beaker.
I feel like this is kind of like Cheers, where the door swings open and one person walks out, and then one person walks in.
Well, and it is kind of like Cheers, except for when anybody walks in, nobody goes, "Hey!"
Yeah, fuck you.
Ooh-ah's animal. All right, I get that. I want to be Beaker. I don't know why I always liked Beaker and his beep, 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 beep.
I'm obviously Gonzo. That's how I feel.
Yep. You are Gonzo.
It fits so much. You weirdo. Uh-huh.
It's funny. My nickname when I was growing up was Kermit. Because I still kind of have long legs, but evidently at some point I was riding a bicycle and somebody was like, hey, fucking holy shit, you look like fucking Kermit riding a bike. And it just stuck. So I've been Kermit. Amongst other, I've had several nicknames, but Kermit T. Frog.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Take care. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Wednesday at 5:30. By the way, to remind everybody, the show's always at 5:30, even if Rich makes the mistake of putting the start time at 12:05. That was me. I did that.
Looks like we're a bunch of amateurs over here.
Well, I mean, we try. I try to look as amateurish as possible because I want to emulate my heroes. They're over there saving lives. We're just over here cracking jokes and making fun of people.
The guy who used to crawl for me in all my videos, one time he was crawling for me and I really wanted him to get this shot and he couldn't pull it off. Like, I mean, we must have done it 8 times or so. Finally, I said, "Well, damn it, you're a professional driver. How come you can't do this?" And he looked at me. He said, "Yeah, I'm professional, but you're not paying me at all." All right, well,
I, why is this thing still? Sorry, I gotta fix this because my computer over here should have gone to fucking sleep like an hour ago, and it
just got
finally.
his OnlyFans account.
I mean, guys got to make money somehow or another.
Welded up anything good?
Oh yeah, by the way, what's up, Jesse? It's good to see you, man. Um, yeah, I made some suggestions to a company that I bought something from recently, and it's welded construction, and it was not quite as easy to assemble as they lead on. So I made some suggestions to said company on, hey, if you rearrange your assembly instruction, it will actually help the assembly. And, I'm semi old guy with a bad back and bad knees, and rolling around on the floor trying to bolt shit together kind of sucks. And this would be helpful. The response that I got from that was interesting. It was kind of like I kind of felt like they sent me an "okay, boomer" email. Like, all right, old guy, whatever. We'll take it under advisement. And I
Got to get with the board. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes right now.
yeah. We got a lot of shit going on behind the scenes back here. We don't need me getting your fucking 10 cents worth. Bullshit. But that also leads me into kind of my rant, which is shipping companies. FedEx and UPS. So over the last month, I've had 5 shipments. I don't know why I'm off screen over here all night tonight. I'm backwards.
You got five shipments?
5 things that have been shipped to me over the last month. 4 of those have been from FedEx. 1 has been UPS. Of the 5, 3 have had a scheduled delivery date.
It's like 4.
That's
21.
3. 3 of them had their scheduled delivery date missed by at least a week. All FedEx. I don't understand, if you're in the shipping business, how, you got to take something from point A to point B. However it gets there, it gets there. You're in the business of transporting stuff from point A to point B all the time. So you'd think you'd be able to go, hey, we're picking this up from Texas, and it's going to be to Tennessee in a week. The week goes by, and they go, yeah, it'll be there. Shipped out on Tuesday, it's going to be there the following Tuesday. The following Tuesday rolls around, and they go, oops, we missed our scheduled delivery date. Sorry. We'll update you as soon as we know when we didn't know the delivery date. Several days go by, and it's like, I could literally drive 4 hours and pick it up at your facility. I could literally drive 4 hours and pick it up at your facility and be home in less time. I don't know. No.
Now, see, because whatever you ordered has to tour New York first. That's like,
so I had one.
Why does the shit that I get? Why did my RC parts have to tour half the United States before they come to me?
Okay, I had one shipment that was actually 4 things, and they shipped all 4 things individually with FedEx. They all left La Mirada, California, on the same day at the same exact time, according to their tracking. The same day, same exact time, they went 4 different routes. FedEx. One went from from California to New Mexico to Colorado to Oklahoma to Missouri to Tennessee.
You think some asshole like me is standing down at the dock and like looking at this? Nah, you can't put these all on one truck. That's stupid.
Well, here's another one. I had something that was coming from Texas. So Texas is here, Tennessee is like here,
Right.
Illinois is like here. And this thing went from Texas to Illinois and has been sitting in Illinois for 4 days. Just hanging out. Yeah, dude, Chicago, man, getting some deep dish. Dog with some kraut. Maybe take, I guess it's not baseball season. They could take in a Cubs game.
What do they call Sears Tower anymore? Yeah, you seen Sears Tower? Did you go down to the Wolf?
Which, deep dish is not pizza, by the way. Chicago deep dish is not pizza. That is a pizza casserole.
Isn't there a pretty awesome aquarium down there in Chicago?
In Chicago? I don't know. All I know is it's not a terribly good place to be right now. Cape Cod, what's happening? Chicago, St. Louis, and New Orleans are, I believe, battled it out for the murder capital of the world, 2023. I don't know who actually ended up winning that, but I know it was a tight battle. Hey, Gunther Steiner is quitting the Haas F1 team. He was one of the team principals. I believe he was actually partly in control.
Oh, really?
Of the whole thing, and he has
way, huh?
effective immediately. He has left Haas F1, which doesn't surprise me because Haas F1 has been deeply, deeply disappointing. They had a really good start. I forget who they had in the car. They had Roman Grosjean and somebody else in the car the first couple of years, and it actually wasn't too bad. They kind of came out of the gate flying, but they just kind of sucked ever since. Then they 2 years ago they hired that Nikita Mazepin because they basically needed money, so they got a Russian oligarch to throw his son in the car, who was probably the worst F1 driver in the history of F1 drivers. And they had to fire him, partly because Russia invaded Ukraine and everybody was like, F that guy. His dad's like Putin's right hand. So they fired that guy.
I mean, you had me at deeply disappointing.
It's sad.
It's just because I honestly, I just instantly think of a Traxxas servo.
Any RTR servo. I have had 2 packages from Walmart sent USPS, never show up. Once they sent a second one and it never showed up, so it sent my money back. I recently had a similar thing happen with Walmart, where I tried to buy something and have it delivered from the store. And we do our grocery shopping at Walmart.
I've done it.
It's fantastic. But like other stuff to buy and have it delivered. And so we had food delivered, groceries delivered all the time. And the guy that was going to deliver this unmentioned item turned around, went back to the store because he said he couldn't make it up our driveway. So I was like, let's send it back. I'll meet him at the bottom of the driveway. So they sent him back. Never showed up. Got a text message like the driver said that there was nobody there. Homie was on the wrong street.
Jesus.
He's on the wrong street. Like, I never saw anybody. I was literally sitting at the bottom of my driveway for 20 minutes waiting for him to show up. Nobody showed up at my house. And the guy at Walmart is trying to tell me, no, man, he was there. And nobody showed up. And I was like, no, he was at the wrong place. Tell me what address. And he read the address. And I was like, it's the right address. But he wasn't on that street. Because literally, it's a dead end street. I would know if he was there. So they sent him back a third time. And I saw him on the next street down. So I can see down the hill. And I could see him driving like super slow, trying to read the addresses and also trying to look for a person that was standing outside. So I'm literally like a jackass out in front of my mailbox, like jumping up and down, screaming and yelling at this guy who's like 100 yards away from me. I'm like, I'm over here. And then, so he finally saw me. He comes down the street. I get my thing. I go up the thing. And I realize I'm an idiot. I literally could have just driven to fucking Walmart and gotten it and been back the first time it didn't show up. I didn't have to go through the whole process of, yeah, I was the asshole in that situation. That was me being like, I want you to deliver my shit. The most incredible one out of all of them is UPS. UPS literally maps out their drivers' routes for them because they have a computer program that maps out so that they take as few left turns as possible. Because they calculated that over the course of a year, all the drivers that were on major streets that had to make a left turn, that had to sit there and wait, cost them so much time and so much money that it was worth them investing millions of dollars in a software program that would literally just map the drivers' routes out for them.
I thought it was also because isn't it slightly dangerous to make a left turn across traffic?
It is.
Maybe one of those risk
but
things.
More along the lines of if every single driver stops for 2 minutes 10 times a day, that's 20 minutes a day. The packages literally aren't being delivered. If you can avoid waiting for all of those left-hand turns by just simply routing somebody to basically go in a big giant freaking loop and make it to the same spot without making a left turn, they figured out that it saved them millions of dollars a year. Insane. And yet UPS still loses shit all the time. But I do have to say, I got to give kudos to the last. Kudos to the last UPS driver that was here, because we don't get the same driver all the time, which is kind of a bummer. When we first moved here, we had the same driver. He'd come here, we never had any problems, and then we started getting rotating drivers, different drivers in and out all the time. So we never get the same driver ever, and half of them won't come up the driveway because it depends on if the ass of the truck is too long, it drags on the street.
Right.
And we're afraid to get yelled at. So Tuesday last week, I got it was a big box. It wasn't heavy, it was just big and awkward. And homie couldn't pull up the driveway. So he freaking carried that box up my driveway to my front door, rang the doorbell. And I got to the door, I'm like, holy shit, dude, you carried that thing all the way up here? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, next time, I said, I know that you all don't come here. I'm like, next time if you got something like this, and the truck won't make it up the driveway, I'm like, just go down there and honk the horn. And we're always home, just honk the horn. I'll literally just drive down there and throw it in the trunk and drive up here. And he was like, oh, no, man, it's okay. I needed the exercise. I was like, dude, my daughter's like a fucking Olympic athlete and she struggles walking up my driveway. And you're doing it carrying this big ass fucking bag. I'm like, you don't need to be a hero, dude.
Time limit per stop.
Oh, Sophie King. Well, obviously it was a good conversation because you came back alive.
We're glad you're here.
Could have been worse.
I mean, I'm mildly glad you're here. Let me rephrase that. I don't want you to think that you're fucking special either.
Nobody is special for JB tonight. Everybody's just getting a shit sandwich from JB tonight. Yeah, Cape Cod, they do have a time limit for each stop. They're only allowed to, and I know it varies too because some stops where they're doing like commercials where they unload after their truck, they get allotted more time, but it's not much.
the, only, the only thing that above average here is my THC level, buddy. Yeah.
It's freaking cold. It is. It is freaking cold here. It has been cold for weeks and weeks and weeks, and we have not got but just the slightest little bit of fucking snow. Just kind of pissing me off.
You too, huh? That's
I'm
weird.
kind of wanting to. I'm kind of wanting to fucking backhand Mother Nature right now. Maybe give her a little freaking pimp slap.
I know
Like,
the junction.
bitch, you need to throw some snow down.
Junction sits in a bubble, so we don't get a lot of snow ever, anyways. But I mean, this winter has been a little bit unusually colder for us too. So it's like,
And see, like last year we didn't get any snow, and it was retarded cold last year. I mean, retarded cold. At one point, not to mention last year in the peak of winter, our auxiliary heater broke. So for like 2 weeks while we're waiting for parts to show up, we have a heat pump and the auxiliary heater. The heat pump below 40 degrees doesn't work. It's like an air conditioner. It just pumps 40-degree air into your house. So last year for like 2 weeks, we were running like 3 space heaters, one in every room that we were in the house. And my January electric bill was like freaking $590 or something.
Jesus Christ.
Insane. On top of the $350 I had to spend to fix my heater.
You could have just like burned dollars and stayed warm.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like everything. It was perfect timing because it was right around New Year's, and New Year's Day we had a high of 8 last year. It was 8 degrees, and it wasn't snowing, it wasn't raining. It was just stupid cold.
What is it?
And
Yeah,
idiot me left his hose connected to the backyard spigot.
that's a good
Which
question. Where's 907 Arctic?
I mean, it never gets warm for Robert. It's just perpetually. It's always cold. Even in the summertime, it's fun cold there.
I mean, you talk about, yeah. I think cold is relative to where you are, but
But I mean, it was like I said, it was 8 last year, and this today we had a high of 38, and there was just the slightest little because it rained yesterday, and there was just the slightest sprinkling of snow, so there was a little bit of snow in patches.
see, and I think
But
38 today. Yeah, that would be a nice day in the sun.
I mean, one of the reasons why we moved here was seasons. Looking for fall. Definitely looking for winter. We're hoping at some point to get a white Christmas. But 3 Christmases in, and we haven't even seen it snow here in December yet.
So now
The
I'm glad,
the earliest we saw it snow was January 6th.
I moved here and it never snows, thank God. But you know,
Yeah,
like where Jesse lives now, Jesse lives in a place where it get fucking cold.
yeah, dude. Michigan's probably snowing right now.
Up in Wisconsin and in Minnesota and places like that. Like I walked out to a degree that was 42 below with the wind chill,
Oh yeah,
and that me that where dad's at, that can get pretty cold if the wind comes up. But I mean, man, yeah, you run -20, negative. I've seen it hit
yeah.
like -25.
But that's why we didn't move there because I I wouldn't even know what to do at 40 degrees below zero.
Well,
I mean,
that's just like well, it's like 907. 907 never sees a day. I mean, like how many days are above? How many 55-degree days do you think that guy they had?
well, and that's probably a warm summer day. I remember somebody talking about, um, like summer in Alaska, and it's like 60 degrees outside,
You're
and
sweating.
they're like shirtless and shorts and flip flops and like woo, and I'm like, dude, in California we'd still be wearing like freaking snow gear at 62, which is it is weird too because it's relative. Like my wife's a typical woman. She's cold. When it's below 60 degrees, she's cold. She likes it when it's freaking 85 degrees outside with 90% humidity. She's plenty happy with that. Um, but like we moved here and like it's 62 degrees outside and she's like, "Oh man, it's a nice day." I'm like, "See, now you know what I'm talking about." I loved 60 degrees days in California. Those are like perfect. Like you could go outside and run around and do whatever you wanted, and you can still wear like a t-shirt and shorts. And, it might be a little chilly, but if you're moving around and active, you're gonna stay warm.
I lived in Oregon for 10 years. Oh, yeah, the snow. I mean, yeah, everybody, got some of my favorite experiences were driving around in the fucking snow.
Man, that was Bend, Oregon. My mom and dad, back in the late 70s, bought property in Bend, Oregon, because they were supposedly building like this giant ski resort. And so I think I graduated in 90, so it had to have been 88 or 89.
Okay.
They my mom and dad had been divorced for several years at that point, but the property deal was that all the joint properties had to be sold before I turned 18. So like the house, everything. My mom got the house, but she had to sell it before I turned 18. Along with she got the property in Bend, Oregon. And it was so funny because I remember the conversation very vividly of my mom talking with this real estate agent, because essentially we went and visited the property like 3 times in the first couple of years that we bought it. And we would go there and we would camp on it because it was like a bunch of sticks with the string around it to mark the edge of the property in the middle of a forest. And there was like this half-assed paved road that they put where they'd cordoned off what was going to be like a neighborhood, basically. And they never did anything with property. They just bought it figuring like, oh, the land's going to appreciate it. We're going to be able to sell this thing, be fucking millionaires. Woo, real estate moguls. I distinctly remember the conversation my mom having with the real estate agent going, what do you mean that's all it's worth? That's less than what we paid for it in the 70s. And she got off the phone. And I was like, oh, yeah, the property in Bend is kind of worthless. Huh? And like, well, yeah, evidently nothing ever happened. So we literally bought like 5 acres of land in the middle of a forest in the middle of fucking nowhere, Oregon.
Well, it's a nice place to go hunting, I guess. Like, I mean, shit.
Yeah, and I vaguely remember the last camping trip that we went on to the property, because we went and stayed there for like a couple of days, and then we had some family friends that lived about an hour or so away from there that we went and stayed with for like 3 or 4 more days, and then we came back home to California. And I remember while we were at the property, like doing nothing but, my sister and I were doing nothing but bitching about how there was nothing to do. We're in the middle of the forest. There's nobody else around. There's nothing else around. We're just in the middle of the forest with our green Ford pickup truck with the freaking camper on the back of it. And we're like, hey, What what do we do now? What? Because my mom did the highlight of the entire existence of that was my mom got a picture of me feeding a squirrel out of my hand,
Nice.
sitting in a camp chair,
Nice.
because the squirrels would literally just run up and eat out of your hand. Yeah, but Bend is now blowing up. My mom laughs now because she's like, "Yeah, if I'd have just held on to that property, I'd been a freaking millionaire." Now, see, Jesse, I can understand being in Michigan being happy without snow because you get an excess of snow. But I just want a little. I'll take a little bit of snow. If I would take a little bit of Michigan snow down here and sprinkle some snow around here.
I've lived in snow. I lived on the Front Range of Colorado where it snows, and I lived in the Black Hills where it snows, and I'm good on the snow. I'm fine. It's okay.
Central Oregon triathlon, snowboarding in the morning, golfing in the afternoon, and fishing in sunset. That's kind of like it's kind of like Ventura. That's kind of like how Ventura was. I could go surf in the morning. I could go ski in the middle of the day, and then I could go fishing in a lake in the afternoon.
You could probably hit all that here. I don't know about this. I don't know about the surfing, but the snowboarding and the golfing and the fishing, you could probably hit all that here.
That was that was the unique thing about that right where we were at in Ventura was because we were up far enough north away from Los Angeles that you could get places without, spending 3 hours sitting in traffic, but also just the geography of how close we were to the mountains and the beach, because the mountains are literally just popping up right there next to the ocean. It's always. I do miss Ventura. It's born and raised. I miss it, but I don't miss that 13.3% state income tax. I don't miss that. I got 0 state income tax.
How often I ran my rig with the hubs turned in from November. Dad never runs with the hubs turned in. Dad will never run in 4-wheel. He won't go anywhere in 4-wheel drive until he gets stuck. And then when you get stuck, you put it in 4-wheel drive and go home.
Yeah,
that's what 4-wheel drive is for. That's what I. That's.
Yeah, Soap King. I do miss the Gav. Freaking Newsom. What a chucklehead. Oh, hey, I'm going to make a prediction right now. And I think it's a prediction that some other people have already made. Biden isn't going to run. Biden isn't going to he's not even going to finish his first term. I'm figuring sometime between March and June, he's going to have some kind of medical episode, and he's going to have to step down. Kamala's going to step in, but in the interim, the Democrats won't be able to run a primary at that point because there won't be enough time. So the Democrat National Convention will basically appoint whoever it is that's going to run against Donald Trump. Because make no mistake, the Republican contender, the Republican contender for president is going to be Donald Trump. Ain't nobody even close. And I'm guessing Michelle Obama or Gavin Newsom is going to be who the DNC is going to choose to run against Trump in 2024. And if it's Michelle, I can guarantee you, one of the other parts of my prediction, guarantee you it's going to come out. She's a man.
Damn it.
She's a man, baby.
Dude, look like a lady. Cape Cod, get me in the end of that one. I could last you right up until we drank beer. And then
so for King, Trump's gonna run, and because the Georgia case with Jack Smith has already fallen apart, the Supreme Court's gonna shit. They've already shit all over that. The New York trial case that's gonna get tossed out. I forget what the other one was. It was a fucking Baltimore or some shit like that, where they're all gonna get fucking tossed. The lawsuits are all bullshit. They blew their wad trying to convince everybody that Donald Trump led an insurrection on January 6th. And the problem is that it doesn't meet the definition of insurrection. Not to mention, the FBI had to admit that they withheld a whole bunch of the January 6th tapes because it showed a bunch of undercover FBI agents committing crimes.
Whoops.
Whoops. Oh, can you say entrapment?
Hey, is that Bill Clinton in this tape?
Yeah, so King, the lawsuits are going to fall out, and the 2020 election lawsuits that were going on, his campaign team only actually filed 6 lawsuits, which went absolutely nowhere. The Sidney Powell, Mike Lindell, the fucking Cuckoo Brigade, that were talking all this shit. It's going to be biblical, all of that. They were filing all them lawsuits on their own, and that's why they ended up having to do fucking like that Jennifer Ellis lawyer girl. That's why they all had to plea bargain out of all this shit, because they went fucking hog wild making all these fucking claims. Yeah, his campaign only actually had 6 lawsuits, and it was basically the 6 states where they challenged: Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. And they were constitutional challenges, and they all got thrown out, like, not relatively quickly, but they all failed because the court system just kind of halted them. But there were literally hundreds of lawsuits filed for the 2020 election from all over the place. Arizona, that Kari Lake, she filed her own lawsuits, as well as, the presidential thing. She filed because she lost the governorship there, and she lost something else, and she quickly figured out that the lawsuits and all that shit weren't going anywhere. That's why she's decided to go run for a Senate seat.
Man, I imagine it can be. Ice bass. I can't see people doing ice bass. Oh, that's fucking crazy.
The polar bears?
No, people.
No, I mean the polar bear club. They're the ones that every winter go out and jump in the icy lake.
Fuck that shit, man.
God, that's insanity.
Got no reason for hypothermia.
I bet them new RC releases. I haven't seen.
What you got? Say it out loud. What RC release?
I saw Vanquish has that new RTR that we talked about last week. There was something else on the Scale News update. Some funky looking truck from like Yi Kong or something like that Harley was talking about. But he translated the price was like $4,000 or something. I don't know. China's fucking crazy. China's fucking crazy with all of this.
I was just trying to get the soap out. Yeah, I just let him run with it. It's his show.
It's going to be like that all year. I've said 2024 is going to be crazy. It's going to be epically awesome there. Oh, by the way, because I got a notification today, because
just get me bashing on RC if you didn't get Rich talking about politics.
I have been watching the used car market because, like I've said before, my wife and I only have the Genesis, and because, quite frankly, I'm not going to spend $70,000 on a freaking truck right now. I was watching the used car market, and I got a notification today that I had favorited on Carvana a 2018 Nissan Armada, which is their full-size SUV, 56,000 miles. It was back in November when I favorited it. So this has been on Carvana for at least that long, several months now. Back then, the price was $52,000 was how much they were asking for that. I just got a notification today that they've dropped the price down to all the way down to $24,490. In 3 months, they've dropped the price $20,000.
I mean, as far as I couldn't
If you are in the market for a used car, if you can hold out until like February or March,
oh
I'm
yeah,
telling you,
tax return, tax return.
you
Well, you got to be a little careful then, but still,
well,
as far as
it's
I'm to know, even if you want to go buy a new truck, it's not a horrible time because some of those trucks, depending on where you're at, have been sitting there for 2 years.
yeah. I mean, the Kingsport Ford dealership has 20 brand new 2021 F-150s still sitting on the lot, brand new.
And and how many people are just dying to get one of those? That's what I'm saying. So, I know I watched a guy who was in the Dodge dealership, and he's like, they can't sell these things. They're not moving. They haven't moved. And at the bottom of every one of the price tags is, hey, you can take $15,000 right off the top of this, and then make us an offer.
Yeah, the especially the used car market right now, it is no longer a seller's market. It is now transitioned into a full buyer's market, and it's going to get the number of repos is off the charts right now. Um, Banks are literally getting stuck with cars and trucks left and right that people had $800 a month car payments, which it's not sustainable. $800 a month for a car payment is not sustainable, and repos are going through the roof. And all these dealerships who 2 years ago, because of COVID, were struggling to get inventory, now they have a glut of inventory that they can't sell because everybody is watching inflation go up. Everybody is saying, look, all these experts are saying the economy is going to take a shit at some point. And yeah, do I really want to get stiffed with that freaking, okay, you took 15,000 off that $70,000 truck. But guess what? That's still a $1,200 a month car payment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
In
only
some places, that's a freaking mortgage
no,
payment.
you're not gonna just. I wouldn't even settle. Like I said, if it hasn't moved in the last 2 years, I'd be like, hey, look, you want me to buy this today or not?
Well, the problem is the dealerships can't sell them. They can't keep dropping the prices down until they are essentially losing money, because then they're just losing money, and they can't keep the prices where they're at because nobody wants to buy them where the prices are at. So they're literally just stuck with them sitting there until eventually what happens is essentially the factory has to repo them from the dealerships. Then they go to auction houses, and then the factory ends up losing. It's indicative. The used car and new car market is always indicative of how the economy is going. And the last time the used car market was even remotely close to this bad, which was 2006.
Hmm.
So 2008, and yeah, Ford and GM are cutting back electric vehicles because nobody wants them.
The
Although the new Honda Prelude does look pretty freaking cool.
we found
Wouldn't
out.
own one because it only has a range of 238 miles. And screw you, I'm going to drive for 238 miles, and then I'm going to charge for 4 hours,
Right.
and then drive another 238 miles and charge for 4 hours.
If you
Who
make it
wants to
that far,
travel that way?
if you make it that far, how many people you got in the car? How much weight do you have?
Yeah.
Was it that Epstein list though? The Epstein Island list? Yeah, Tom Lee RC was on there. Who else? I can think of a couple.
um, the Epstein list ended up being um, nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody in the media, even Fox News, doesn't want to fucking touch it. They'll throw a little bit on their website about it, but they ain't talking about it on TV. Nobody's talking about it on TV because all them fuckers are knee deep in it. I mean, even the Golden Globes the other night, wasn't nobody virtue signaling. None of them actors, actresses, singers, and all them people. None of them people were virtue signaling because all this shit that Ricky Gervais said at the Academy Awards 3 years ago, it's all coming true. Even Jim Gaffigan joking that he's not a fucking pedophile. Ooh, it's fucking Hollywood's got a big problem.
Keep my Epstein list out your motherfucking mouth.
Yeah. Oh man, it's. But the problem is like the main people they say were like Ghislaine Maxwell's main partners. There was three of them, three dudes. They're all fucking dead. So, oh yeah, well, of course do you throw those names out there because they're already fucking dead. Nobody can do anything about those guys. It's the big part about the whole thing that I saw was one of the victims' testimony during the trial talked about how Jeffrey Epstein filmed everything,
right?
And that her and her attorney had copies of Bill Clinton on film on several flash drives that had been mailed all over the world.
Nice. You know, I was you clickbaiting on Pornhub the other day. I saw Bill Clinton. What do you know?
Unfortunately, I just don't see it going anywhere. I think it was a I think it was a big to do when the list was being withheld because they were basically talking about how all the people who are trying to keep it from coming club are trying to keep all of it hidden. Da, 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 da. But when the list actually came out, everybody kind of knew they're only going to release the names of the people that don't really fucking matter. You know, they're going to be a bunch of business managers like the three dead guys.
Off, yeah. By the way, just so
it was the girl that was done by Prince Andrew. And I believe she's also in a picture with Bill Clinton giving him a massage.
I feel like Talbot would make that list way before EXO would. Like, EXO's not even on the same. You got to be like a little high end in the RC world. RC.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Wouldn't he?
I don't even think Kevin Talbot's high enough to make it on the Epstein Island list.
Sparks looks like he could be on the list. I mean, I'm sorry, but those his Hunter S. Thompson-esque thing going on all the fucking time, man.
The one that kills me the most is I don't care who you are. I literally don't care who you are. You could be the king of anything. You could be, I mean, Michael Jackson didn't have a big giant fucking crown tattooed on his chest with King of Pop on it. if you truly are the king of RC, Elvis didn't even tattoo king on himself, and he's the king. King Charles didn't tattoo King of fucking England on him. Neither did the Queen. Big ass fucking tattoo on his chest. I don't, dude, come on. Come on, man.
Could you be the king of sofas? There's only one sofa king.
Sofa king, I will give you 5 trillion points if you tattoo Sofa King across your chest.
This is Sofa King. You know, so to get the title of Sofa King, I feel like it's like a Highlander thing. Cut the head off the other Sofa King.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I get tattoos. I get them. I personally don't have any tattoos, but I get them. I get why people get them. I get why people love them.
Yeah, but come on.
But everything should have some reasonable purpose to it.
Just the fact that he walks around shirtless with those pink glasses and a fucking dude, give the rest of us a fucking break, please.
I mean, on top of everything else,
Sorry, you got me going.
I think that after the age of about 26 or 27, I'll push it out to 30 if you're super good. But after the age of about 26, 27, you have to stop calling yourself a DJ. Okay? You just can't do it anymore. Unless you're Paris Hilton. All right? I give Paris Hilton a pass because, you know, she doesn't have anything else and she's never done anything else as a career. So she can be but yeah, I think you gotta, of tires burning out and leaving a burnout. It has taken 3 sittings to get there and still not done. um,
Did you get too burned out? Or
I I personally know I have a very high threshold for pain. I don't know if I ever told everybody the story about the last time I broke my collarbone, which I was out in the middle of the desert riding with my buddies like an asshole. Not, I was riding like an asshole, and I ate shit and went down and broke my collarbone in an area where basically there was no way for us to get out of except to ride out. And I literally rode with my collarbone broken for about 4 hours to get back to camp. Then I got back to camp, took 2 shots of whiskey, loaded up the bikes, got in the truck, drove 3 hours home to my buddy's house, got in my car, drove myself home, laid down, went to sleep for about 4 hours, and at about 7 o'clock the next morning, I went to the ER to get x-rayed.
nice.
So I'm pretty sure I could handle getting a tattoo. Never been the pain part. It's more the religious connotation of I don't believe that I'm allowed to mark my body.
Ah,
It
your
is
body's a
the
temple.
it is the vessel for my soul, and it is not for me to decorate or embellish upon it. It was made perfect by God. That's right. I'm perfect. It was made perfect by God as the vessel.
Genesis playing in the background. Perfect. Oh, dude.
Oh man, my attic squirrels are going to town right now
No, you talked
because
about that earlier. We talked about the Bible earlier. We talked about the God earlier in the show, and you said something about not going to church to pray. Not going to church, and I get that. Is it one of the things that always got me was the fact that in there somewhere it says, yeah, your body is a temple. It's like you said, a vessel. And I always thought, well, you never had to go to church necessarily to pray. Then, if your body's a temple, why can't you pray right where you are?
well, my my personal
Sorry,
standpoint
tangent.
is, but my personal standpoint on organized religion is, um, it's been so diluted and it's been so tainted by you know 2,000 years of like really bad behavior on multiple religious fronts. You know, you can't look at any one religion and go, yeah, they pretty much never done anything wrong. No, you can't. I mean, you might say Buddhists, but Buddhists have gone to war for shit too. Do crusades,
It's the needle.
the Persians. I mean, and yeah, so my personal belief is that my personal relationship with God is between me and God. I don't need to go to a church to worship God. I don't need to go listen to some guy stand in front of a pulpit and read sections out of the Bible and tell me how I'm supposed to live because he's just interpreting the Bible. I don't necessarily want somebody else to interpret the Bible to me. I want to read the Bible as the Word of God. I take the Bible as the Word of God. It's what it is. And that's my relationship with religion. It's
Yeah.
why I don't go to church because I've gone to church. I, I've seen pastors who drive Porsches.
Right.
I've seen pastors who drive old beat up Volkswagen Bugs. I've seen churches that are worth tens of millions of dollars. And it's like, no,
There's got to be some. Yeah. Yeah. It's
it
that
should be, you
two
know,
things. I like these guys.
that's, Jesus walked around with nothing. He had nothing. He was worth nothing. And he walked around just preaching.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. Now, in modern times it's impossible to do that. You literally wouldn't be able to survive because there isn't the same situation happening in the world. There aren't people that have their doors open waiting for traveling preachers to come by so that they can feed and bathe and house you. You would starve to death. It wouldn't take very long.
I mean,
And
I can tell you,
most people would call you crazy.
Jesus invited the prostitutes to dinner, and I invite prostitutes to dinner, and everybody like is upset with me. And I mean, I forget it.
There's a difference between Jesus inviting prostitutes and JB inviting prostitutes. Like, hey, baby, you want to come over to my place and party? Yeah, I mean, and I believe that everybody should practice religion. You know, the Bible is the guide for life. It's what it is. It's God's guide for a good life. You follow the rules here, you have a good life. You live to be a good person. It's pretty simple, pretty basic.
I think so.
When you think about, rules, all laws, everything is based around the Bible. The 10 Commandments is pretty much the laws of the world.
Is it created in His image? Rich said earlier that he's
We were created in God's image. Absolutely. But I know everybody gets all running. Oh, you can't talk about religion, and I don't understand why. I mean, everybody.
I bet he is on that that Epstein list.
I can't imagine how people don't talk about religion.
Not on. No.
I don't know if anybody in the RC community is high enough up the food chain to make the Epstein list.
Probably not.
I mean, there aren't a whole lot of RC moguls out there.
I think RC Dude 81 might make it because he can jump really far. I don't know.
I was and I'm holding out that whatever it was, how Michael Jackson's name appeared there, I'm holding out for the hope that Michael Jackson was not a crazy lunatic pedophile. I've been holding out for all the time.
I feel like you're wishing up the wrong well, but
well, look, I
mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, so what can I say?
Well, like Macaulay Culkin, I regard Macaulay Culkin as a somewhat believable source, because if he was molested by Michael Jackson, he doesn't have anything to gain by saying he wasn't. But there was also the two Coreys, Corey Haim and the other one that freaking died a couple of years ago.
Corey Taylor from Slipknot?
No. There was the Coreys during the 90s. They were in all the movies. They were the teenage kid. Now Corey Haim's like he dresses like fucking Michael Jackson now, and he's kind of a wingnut. But they've all said nothing ever happened. Michael Jackson was basically just an overgrown kid, and he acted like a kid. his whole Neverland Ranch thing was set up because
That's just
he
ignorant. Don't be
basically
ignorant.
he wanted to live like a child because he never had a childhood. And that's what I want to hold on to. Because I just
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
way Michael Jackson died, the way that they went after him a bunch of times, it just seems like he knew something and they wanted to get rid of him.
It could have
It,
been.
and I mean the way he died and the whole conspiracy theory that he actually didn't die, he just hid himself like fucking Elvis. He didn't die. He just wanted to disappear. Um, but yeah, because
Well, when you
I
start to
don't.
look like the guy from Crypt Keeper,
Well, I mean, the plastic surgery thing, I get it. I get it because everybody in entertainment has to do plastic surgery. They have to because they have to try staying looking young for as long as they possibly can. Now, what we're starting to see is the fact that um, after a couple decades of getting plastic surgery done, everybody starts looking the same, and it's all terrible. And that's because the plastic surgeons were lying to everybody. Like, oh yeah, I can take these years off and nobody will be able to tell. We can tell. Look at fucking Madonna. Madonna looks like. I recently saw somebody that compared her to the little weird thing from Saw, like the little puppet from Saw, that mask he was wearing. They compared her to that, and it was like, oh, it's actually not that far off. You'll let your own kids spend the night alone and never. Not a fucking chance. I wouldn't have let my kids stay
now
with my
who
ass.
would? That's the other thing. That's fucked up. I don't understand. Who the
And
fuck
that,
did you have
but
her?
that's the part where I hold out hope that all of these fucking retarded ass fucking parents that let their kids do that weren't as fucking retarded as I think they are. Because yeah, he is a grown ass man. And yeah, he did a lot of weird shit. I mean, what did what the fuck did he name his son? Like fucking Pocket or something like that? I
Yeah.
mean, he named his kid like something completely fucking goofy. Like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? Kenny Rogers. I don't know, man. Kenny Rogers looked rough. The other one that I saw the other day was when was the last time you saw fucking Michael Knight, David Hasselhoff?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo,
dude,
yo,
I
Hawk is
fucking
looking
loved
rough
Knight
today.
Rider. I loved Knight Rider. I actually, within the last couple of years, I rewatched all the Knight Rider
Blanket. That's
episodes.
right. Blanket.
Blanket, yeah, he named him Blanket. Like, what kind of name is Blanket? How high were you when you named your kid? Dude, just name him Blanket.
I can't even write it right now.
um, yeah, fucking David Hasselhoff. I couldn't believe how, like, oh, first of all, no men, none of them. Women, I understand. You, if you want to maintain your sex appeal, yeah, go get your plastic surgery done, get the boobs done, and all of that, and try to hang on to that as for as long as you can. But men, no. You got to age gracefully. You got to do it with some dignity because, hey, I'm David Hasselhoff. I mean, dude, you look like shit, man. You look like somebody grabbed a hold of your fucking cheeks and tried to wrap them around your ears. You look like an asshole.
Yes, this is your future, Joe Collins.
um, yeah, there's just nothing. There's nothing with as far as the plastic surgery thing is working out for anybody. They're all looking terrible. The longer time goes on and the more you try to do, the worse it gets. And Michael Jackson was like the fucking poster boy of at some point you just got to fucking stop.
Well, that's what I was saying. He was going to co-host Tales from the Crypt for a while.
Well, like the way they portray him in South Park all the time, where like he's got like this straight jawline and there's no nose there. It's just like two fucking holes in his face. And so, for why did you say Joe was on the list? He was not, but Trump was many times. Udef, hey, Koo. I don't even know what that name is.
Oh my god! Yeah.
But Trump's name was on there. But what was pointed out was that in all references to Trump was that he didn't do anything. He basically didn't really have anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein other than acquaintance.
Well, and which Joe are we talking about? Are we talking
Joe
about
Biden?
Or are we talking about Collins?
Uh,
I think we brought both into that conversation. That reminds me.
Yeah, I mean the thing with the Epstein list is
do this. Let's see here.
There's a bunch of number one, there isn't just a list. Actually, what it is it's excerpts from testimony during Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. Yes, Trump was at Epstein's mansion, along with a bunch of people who were at Epstein's mansion that never had anything to do with the sex trafficking. Talking about EXO. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, Joe Biden's daughter's diary. Go look, go search. It's been proven that it's real. Doesn't matter if Joe Biden was on Epstein Island or not. Joe sniffs kids all the time on fucking camera. That's it. So at this point, it doesn't matter if he's on Epstein's list. Not true. He was accused of having sex with women multiple times, and consensual. The woman said it was consensual sex multiple times. I said he wasn't involved in sex trafficking. Consensual sex and stealing young women and farming them out on your island to rich, powerful people is different than Donald Trump being a fucking billionaire playboy screwing chicks. Just like it how much, but those are the facts. So Udef, I don't even know what the fuck that is. That's not a name. It's just a bunch of random letters. Get your shit straight, because I know the facts. You ain't gonna come in here. Woman did not say it was consensual.
Here we go.
Bullshit. She did. I fucking read it myself.
She's just making sure the kids smell good.
Yeah.
Melina said she never consented.
Earl, he's just making sure. Yeah. Said she never consented.
Neither did Joe Collins. Don't worry about it.
I have a soft spot for Melania.
You're a liar now.
Wow. Well, look, there's one thing to come in here and say shit, Heath, but call me a liar. Go fuck yourself. I know the truth. You're in here spouting up. You're not even using your real name. So pipe down. He wasn't accused of anything. Having consensual sex, nobody accuses people of having consensual sex.
Wait a minute. I've been accused of this a couple of times. At least once or twice in my life. Believe me, guys. I've had sex.
So there you go. God, fucking troll. That's only the second time that I've ever fucking put anybody in timeout on this show.
I would have just let him keep going. I mean, I didn't give a fuck.
Eat a fucking dick, eat chew, muck it up, whatever, you fucking troll. There's one thing that I am not, and that is dishonest about shit. Look, if Trump was on that list and he was banging fucking 12-year-olds, I'd be here fucking saying it because I hate fucking politicians. I hate them. I also hate pedophiles.
Fair enough.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who. If you're a pedophile, I dislike you. So I don't care. I mean, I'm not a diehard fucking Trump fan. I'm not gonna sit here and lie that Donald Trump's a fucking angel and he was the greatest guy in the world. Donald Trump's an asshole. Always has been. But
tell us how you feel. Yeah, I think you came to the wrong place, man. I'm sorry. I feel kind of bad for you because you kind of just stepped into a shithole right here.
Yeah, I mean, you got about as far as the Operation 11 Charlie guys did with their fucking bullshit coming in here.
Why did you leave, Rich? Why did you leave?
Cue the real soapbox. Yeah. Well, why are you making it personal? Yeah. You can call me a lot of things, but
don't call me a liar. Huh?
you can call me a lot of things, but you can't come in here and call me a fucking liar.
That's funny because he's even put up with death threats before. So.
Well, and look, if you're gonna come in here and be all fucking keyboard tough guy, at least use your real fucking name. Come on, you fucking sissy.
Mike.
Use your real name. Yeah. Oh, speaking of, the other day, I'm going through dealing with my Wi-Fi stuff and kind of resetting the Wi-Fi. And while I'm resetting the Wi-Fi, my phone, and your Wi-Fi goes off and your phone says, oh, look, there's all these Wi-Fis you can choose from. One of my neighbor's Wi-Fi name is Mike Hawk.
Nice.
All one word, Mike Hawk. Mike Hawk's Wi-Fi. I almost pissed myself laughing like, oh, fucking Mike Hawk lives in my neighborhood. I'm sure, Mr. Brown. I'm sure he's all over fucking CNN and MSNBC.
Look, I don't mind opposing viewpoints, whatever. But like I said, first of all, it's Rich's show. He calls the shots. So if you don't it's not fucking cookies.
And anybody who's ever watched this show knows that I do my fucking homework before I say shit. I don't come in here and just spout out fucking nonsense because I'm a jackass. I do my homework. Mike Hunt's Wi-Fi. Mine is FBI Fan 88.
That works.
Mine is completely lame. It's just stickies.
I'm not going to tell you what mine is.
That's my Wi-Fi name.
I don't need you to be logging in, stealing up my bandwidth.
Oh, you can't log into mine because my Wi-Fi password is literally 32 characters long. I did the maximum because I actually had somebody back in Ventura stealing my Wi-Fi and it pissed me off.
Dude, and most of the time we'll put up with, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that Rich blocked him in the first place. But I mean, people have their limits. I mean, I'd put up with a lot of bullshit from. Like you said, we had those Operation 11 Charlie motherfuckers come in here and basically threaten us. What do you want? So.
And I let that shit go. But I mean, look, first of all, the Operation 11 Charlie guys, they came in here and could say what they wanted because at least most of them were using their real names, except for fucking Javier, who called himself Baba Yaga. But everybody knew who the fuck it was.
Baba Yaga. Anyway,
you come in here with some troll name for your fucking channel that you go in and probably post shitty comments everywhere on people's YouTube videos so that you can remain anonymous, and get the fuck out of here. I have time to waste on you and your stupid freaking MSNBC rants and CNN. Oh, fucking insurrection. Donald Trump's an insurrectionist. He shouldn't be allowed to be president because he led an insurrection. Watch the tapes, you fucking dummies. He literally stood there and gave a speech saying, "We believe in law and order and peace and doing things the right way. So go down there and say your piece, but don't do anything stupid and don't get in trouble." And
Oh, you missed everything, Cape Cod.
I was eating. What did I miss?
They're good.
We had some crazy person in here. Udahef. Wait.
Who would have but you?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like random letters. Some person using random letters. But yeah, anywho. Yeah, man. Hey, Udaf, Gudichu, whatever the fuck your name is, if you want to come in here and, bring the facts, bring some facts. Don't come in here spouting a bunch of fucking nonsense. Oh, I don't know. Because, please, garbage, nonsense. And I'll put up with it for however long I can put up with it, but then I'm fucking putting your dumb ass out of here. I got to deal with enough fucking stupid people on a daily basis. I don't need to deal with one on my show. It's me and JB's show. We can do whatever the fuck we want. And I did. I exercised my right to put your ass in timeout for being a dummy. On that happy note.
You missed, Cape Cod. Way to go.
Hey, on that happy note, man, have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Go do something fun. Go find Wachaku Udef Hoocha Heechachoos channel and give them a thumbs up, maybe even a subscribe, and maybe it'll put a smile on his face and he can get that stick out of his ass.
Is Adolf Hitler spelled differently?
Hey, it could have been.
It felt regimist. I'll tell you that.
Hey, it's not every live show you can go to where Adolf Hitler shows up and starts leaving comments.
You got this in the Knight Rider car when you were a kid? That's not fair. Did it say your name? Hey, Jesse.
Hey, they used to have the Knight Rider car at Universal Studios in Hollywood. It was there for the longest time. The door was open. You could sit in there and Kit would talk to you and everything. And they took it all out when they did the.
Have you ever seen the tech that went in behind that car?
Yeah.
To get the light to work and everything at that time, like that was like.
Did you know that it was the seat was just the seat cover with the panel, so that the guy driving the car could actually see? Because there was actually a guy that was just dressed up as the seat that would drive the car when it was driving by itself.
Neat.
That's how Kit drove by himself. It was just a dude with a seat costume on.
Did you get in and get hugged by some guy in a suit that? I'm sorry.
I didn't get Michael Jackson in the Knight Rider car.
And on that note,
you all have a great rest of your week, and we will see you here next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., not 12:05 p.m., if I make the same mistake again. Take care, everybody.